Hey there, this is Pat, and on day 4 of my cross-country road trip, I meet up with Marty Usher to review his one-of-a-kind custom prowler. Okay, so I'm here on day 2 of my trip here, well, day 4 of my trip, but day 2 here with Marty Usher. And we got his prowler here next to mine, and if you couldn't tell, there's a whole lot of changes to his compared to what I have on mine. So we're going to talk, first of all, we'll go ahead and go over all the visual stuff first, and then we can talk about all the internals on it first of all.
Where do you want to start?
So let's start, first of all, I guess, background. So when did you get this particular one?
This is my second prowler. Bought this one in October of 17. So
Okay.
going on 3.5 years now.
Okay.
So it was out in California. It was originally a New York car. Got traded in on a Bentley out in California and San Diego. And I flew out there and drove it home in October of 17.
Okay, and then you had one other prowler before that.
I had my first prowler back in, I had a 2000 black, which I owned from early 2001 through mid 2006, but 151,000 miles, a lot of smiles for sure.
Okay, and you've got a lot of photos of that, hopefully, that I can share with this.
Sure.
So I'm going
some of those ones upstairs.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and intersperse them in here so people can see, what your old one looked like. Because you had some similar design styles on that one compared to this one. So
yeah, I had the round headlights.
Yep.
Some other things. Sure.
Yeah. So well, everybody's going to probably ask about the first thing is the headlamp. So what made you decide to put those on there?
Before I bought the first prowler, when I first saw the concept in the mid 90s, I loved the street rod aspect of it because I wanted to get a street rod at that time.
Yeah.
But they weren't reliable enough for me to drive it as a daily driver. So, but I always thought that the street rods needed round headlights, kind of like you see in a lot of the 32, 33, 34 Roadsters. So that was one of the first things I knew I always wanted to do to a prowler is put round headlights on it. So
Okay.
and I always kind of viewed the prowler as being a blank canvas. Chrysler gave us a beautiful blank canvas like your car, that you can keep it the way it is or make it your own masterpiece.
Yeah.
Well, Chrysler made their original masterpiece, and I decided to make Marty's masterpiece.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
headlights was one of them.
Okay. So now I'm looking at it when you compare to mine here. So the headlamps, you built them into the same spot where the bumpers were at.
Correct.
But obviously you had to have this piece here all custom done, right?
That's a new custom panel for the headlight replacement.
Okay. Okay. And then as far as wiring them in, though, I mean, you were able to just tie in the existing wiring that was there.
Yeah, and then move the turn signals are behind the grill.
Okay, that was the other thing I was wondering about, where the turn signals are. So let's see if I can see them in there. Oh, okay, they're way. It's kind of maybe not show up on the camera, but it's
at nighttime or when I
right
turn them
there.
on, you can actually see them.
Okay. Now they're so close together. Can you tell from a distance if the right or left is?
Yes.
Okay.
Not as well on this one as on my previous one, but it's still, you can still tell when you're looking at it.
Okay. All right. So when you originally got this one, you said it was already this color scheme because it originally was an 01 orange, right?
Correct. It was 01 orange. I wanted the orange for a change from the black, but I always liked the black over red or the black over the silver, like the black tie.
Yeah.
Always liked those, and I thought, if I ever get an orange one, I might want to do a black over. And so when I saw this one, it kind of just talked to me.
Okay. So the previous owner had done the two-tone. They put the black on there.
Done the two-tone.
But what else? But what else did you? Now obviously you did the headlamps. What did they have? The bumpers gone already?
The bumpers were gone. They had these black wheels. I would have put different black wheels, but I did want the black wheel look. I like that.
Okay, yeah,
with the black top.
Okay, yeah. So these are 20-inch wheels in the front.
20 on the front and 22 on the back.
22 on the back. Okay.
If I was doing it, I'd put the 22s on the back and 19s on the front. And
Okay.
I go to 5-spoke instead of, these are a pain to clean.
Okay. So how much did the ride change once you put those on there? Was it right? It got a lot rougher with a lot less sidewall on there?
Not much more. I did put the Wonder Bar on it,
Okay.
and these are not run flats.
Right.
So the ride is good for a prowler. It's never going to be like driving a
No.
1985 Cadillac. But,
No, definitely not. No. Okay. Now, as far as any of the other paint job on here, though, was like the graphics on the fenders here?
No, that was on there.
That was already on there?
I did change out the grill. I went with a stock. It had a custom grill that had black here, but it had body color filler panel, which I didn't like. It affected the heating, so I went with a black.
Yeah, that is surprising. So half the grill was covered up?
Yes.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
I went with a black.
Yeah, that's okay.
standard
I
grill.
was going to say that comes right from a black one.
And then I added the louvered side panels.
Yeah, so that was the next thing. So who made these originally?
Those, I don't know the name of the person that did them. They did a second run of them I think they sold 10 or 12 pair of them, maybe 10 years ago. And that's all that they made. And two brothers up in Wisconsin had a set they never put on either car. And we're trying to sell. They sold their Prowlers, and we're trying to get out of it. So I was nice enough to take it off their hands.
Okay. Now I think I've seen this one before. I don't know if it was CJ or CJ's car might have this one.
CJ has the original ones that are made from aluminum, and hers are the real deal. These are a fiberglass replica of what she
okay,
has.
so this whole piece is fiberglass.
Yeah.
You said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I had it painted. Obviously, one of the Prowler guys, Chris down in Victoria, Texas, painted them for me.
Okay. All right. So now the next thing I just discovered as you were getting into the car earlier is that you have no door handles.
Yeah. I really like the look of the shaved door handles.
Yeah.
I'm eventually going to change out the mirrors to be the small, round, classic round chrome mirrors. It'll kind of tie in with the chrome headlights, but also the shaved look of the the old
well, go ahead and pop them. Okay.
There it goes. Anyway, it popped open. Check that one out.
Okay. So the remote is that a separate remote that you have? Oh, you have two remotes now. You have
I don't need this one. It's just on here because I had the door locks disconnected.
Okay.
Because I was afraid that I'd be traveling with just this, and I'd lock the doors and never be able to get in the car.
Okay.
That's the one bad thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that you're really kind of if the battery ever runs out on that, you're locked out of your own car.
Not really. I won't show you where it is, but I have a hidden switch under the car, so I can always go press that.
Okay. So you have an emergency way to get in.
If the battery in the car goes bad,
and
you can't get in the car to get in it. But I have terminals for the positive and negative, which you can reach from underneath, so you can charge the battery from underneath the car without opening the hood.
Oh, okay.
So if I ever lose battery power, the battery went dead, then these won't pop open, then I couldn't get in to pop open the hood. So now I can charge the battery from underneath. Okay.
Now I need a good look at the wheels out here. So you said these are 22s. 22s. Okay, so these are still Nitto. You have the same brand tire that I have, but they make it. Okay, is it the same tread in the front and back? It looks like it is.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Now these are only factory Prowlers on the 20-inch are 295, and these are 285s because his rims aren't wide enough to go wider.
Okay, so your back wheels are actually a little bit skinnier than the.
A little bit, half an inch.
Okay. Now it's hard to tell compared to mine, but it looks like it's filling up the same amount of space. Or is it a little tighter? It looks like it might be a little tighter.
Much higher.
It's a little bit tighter.
I think it's a half inch bigger diameter. You really can't go if you pan down here. This is the deciding factor.
Yep.
I had bigger tires on my first Prowler, and it's not the width that gets you, it's the diameter.
Yep.
So as you go over like a railroad track and the body expands, the tire hits the front of that, and that's not a good feeling to have.
No,
so
I imagine it wouldn't.
You don't want to go much bigger than, you can go about an inch larger diameter than what that is.
Okay. All right. So now the interior, obviously these are not the original seats at all. These are all custom made for the car?
Everything on, all the changes on the interior I did. The car came with a stock interior.
Okay, so they were stock. Okay. All right.
So these are Prowler seat cushions. I bought a set of seat cushions from Bob Getz, who's passed away now, but he used to own Real Rod. He bought 12 sets of the seat cushions from Chrysler when they quit making the Prowler. Okay. And when I was up there visiting him a year and a half ago before he died, he gave me a set of the seat cushions. So I brought them down to a custom upholstery shop and picked out the material and had them do the seats and obviously the console cover, the boot on both the shifter and the emergency brake. Okay. And then the dashboard.
Okay. Oh, I see you got an extra gauge. Or actually, you have a different tachometer on here, and the boost gauge that goes along with your supercharger.
Right. And then I sent the steering wheel out to Craft Customs up in Rockwall, Texas, outside Dallas, to have use the same material, orange material from the seats and the dash, to have the along with even the black leather on the steering wheel is new. Okay. So is this surface here? Oh, it's a little softer than the stock. Right. Okay. So it's the same as the seats. It's the same as the seats. Okay. But they just wrap the existing. Pop the existing dashboard. He was scared to do it, so I popped the dashboard out. And I've done it a number of times now, so it's a little eerie feeling the first time you do it. Okay. So getting back to the gauge, I always wanted a bigger tack. I thought the little stock tack on a Prowler was too small, so I did that on the first one. So that's just a standard auto meter, bigger 3 3/4 inch tack. And then when the previous owner put the Paxton supercharger kit on it, but didn't have a boost gauge, and I wanted to know what the boost was when I'm in boost, because boost creates heat, and I want to be sure and keep it out of boost as much as possible when cruising, so I don't build up the heat under the engine bay. So I put the boost gauge in.
Okay, so I'm noticing that now that, again, you said these were the original, or these are based on the original seats, but you have the different coloring in here. Is that the way the seat is? Okay.
No, and they weren't even done. I decided on the horizontal lines.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say my seat doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
so
he came up. I told him I wanted two-tone if he wanted to do it, but I did not want just inserts. I wanted to have something different. So he came up with that. And if you look down here, you can see he put extra padding on it right here. So this is all stock, and he added extra padding.
Okay, so you got more lumbar support.
Still got more lumbar support from my 68-year-old back.
All right. Well, now of course you got the headrest missing on here. So now
that goes back to the old
the
straight rod.
old straight rod look. Yeah, but again, anybody thinks that roll bar was a roll bar, it's not anyway.
Right.
It's just added onto the seat. So.
And I wanted to show off the waterfall with the
yeah, that was next. Yeah, so the waterfall is that. Who made that one?
That was OC Prowler out of California.
Okay.
So he made a waterfall without the subwoofer and one with the subwoofer.
Okay. Okay, so the actual subwoofer itself, is it behind that, or is it anywhere else in the car?
No, this is it.
That's the whole thing. It's built in right behind that.
Built in right there.
Okay.
And still have the factory speakers here and there, and I still got the.
Still have the.
Yeah, and I actually still have the dash speakers, but I covered them up because I didn't like the look of more hole in the new cover. But you can still hear them. You can still hear them
through there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When I go to get my window regulators replaced, people have told me, "Oh, I should get the speakers done while I'm in." But I hardly ever hear any sound. If I ever get mine replaced, I want to get the back ones done because that's where I hear it.
Right.
The front ones, I don't normally hear a whole lot of the sound out of that anyway. So I'm probably not going to worry about doing that just because it's not going to make. But at some point, I would like to get. I'm not probably as big as yours, but I definitely want to get new speakers in the back because it makes a big difference.
It does make a difference.
Yeah, that's where you hear everything.
One of the problems I still have is with the exhaust. This has the Sweet Thunder 30-inch.
Yep, I could hear it.
Chambered.
We should have you started up again and get. I didn't get it on camera.
Which sounds really good, but when you're on highway speeds, the drone is such that you lose a lot of your audio quality, so
okay.
I may change it back. In fact, I've got the other aftermarket muffler right in here that I'm going to put back on for the trip to the Prowler event to West Virginia in September. So the drone won't be as much. We can enjoy our music or audio book while we're driving.
Now there was one when I went to the 20th anniversary event in 2017. I don't remember who it was, but somebody showed me that they had a switch on their dash. It was designed where the baffles could be opened or closed. So that
I don't have that, but
I've seen people that have that. And if I ever did it personally, I'd probably like that because then on the highway you could just turn it off. But if you want to be loud when it's going slower, you're not going the freeway. I don't know who did that and how they did it, but they literally had a flip of the switch that you can make it louder.
Somebody did make a kit in the early 2000s that people were putting.
Yeah, it wasn't like a common thing. I don't recall that he said it would be easy to.
So then I got from Tom Mills at Jefferson Automotive. I got the rear belly pan and took off the rear bumpers, and he did a great job of matching up the paint. And then I added the black exhaust tips because the original exhaust tips, if you look over at your car, see how
they're long. Yeah, well, they're longer because they have to
deal. They were just too long. I had to replace them anyway, so I went with the black to match the theme.
Okay. Yeah. So this kit of his, he still makes it, right?
Yes,
so I think I still see it on. I still see it on his site that he's got it there. But okay.
And then, do you want to see the engine?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that.
I'm gonna warn you, it's dirty.
Well, how many miles again you got on this one?
14,000.
You only have 14,000 on it, so it can't be that dirty.
151,000 on the first one in 5 years, and I've put 7,000 on this one in 4 years. It's a sin.
Well, it will last longer if you don't drive it as much, but that's not dirty at all. That's not bad at all.
So, a couple of differences you'll notice is the supercharger unit is here's the head unit and here's the canister.
Okay.
With the filter for that's part of the supercharger package.
Okay.
Which means you had to relocate the alternator over to this side.
Okay.
So the alternator is now over here, and then you also had to relocate.
That's it right here.
Somewhere down
down there.
No, it's down lower.
Down lower. Okay.
Yeah, it's down here. But anyway, it's down here, And then he had to relocate the power steering fluid
wow. Look at that.
reservoir.
Okay.
So that was
Can't miss that. That normally isn't there.
right. So that's the differences in, because of where the tight, you can see how tight the engine
Yeah.
bay is.
Yeah.
You had those two things take up space, and things had to be relocated.
Okay.
One of the issues of relocating things with the supercharger is that the idler pulley for the air conditioning tensioner isn't as reliable as the stock one. So
Okay.
occasionally the air conditioning belt on some of the mine came off.
They've thrown the belts.
They throw the air conditioner belt, which can, if you're at speed, wrap around and knock off your serpentine belt, which happened to me
Okay.
in October for the first time. Now they've got it back on. They think they solved the issue, and
Okay.
we'll find
So
out.
what's the company again that made the supercharger was?
Paxton.
It is Paxton. Okay. Okay.
It
Now, it was when they designed it. Was it designed for the Prowler?
designed for the Prowler, specifically for the Prowler, and it's got some nice top end power. It breathes a lot better.
Do they
on
still
the top
build them?
end.
Do they still make them today?
No, they
No.
quit making them maybe 2004, 2005.
Oh, so a pretty long, pretty
Right.
short time that they made
Right,
them.
but
Okay.
the power on the top end is really good up on the interstate type of thing. It's got a
Mm-hmm.
good type around town, going from traffic light to traffic light and cruising around town. It feels like a stock Prowler. It's
Okay.
there's no boost at the low RPMs. You got
Okay.
to get it up over 3,000 RPMs for the
For it to really.
boost to
Okay.
kick in.
Okay. So the other thing you had done, now you originally had the new transmission gears that were Tony Gertz
I
in here, and you
had to-
took those out because of.
I took those out because of the heat issue. So
Okay.
down here in San Antonio, southern Texas, we have, we might have 30 days in a row with triple digits.
Mm-hmm.
And also our highway speed limit's 75, so most people drive 80 when they're driving between cities.
Yeah.
Are faster.
Yeah, I discovered
And-
that on the way here.
Right, and because of that, when you're driving at 75 or 80 with the gears, your RPMs are up over 3,000, 3,200, 3,400 RPM,
Mm-hmm.
which means that the boost on the supercharger is engaged, and you're creating boost, which creates heat.
Okay.
So if it's a hot summer day, you're up at that speed, you're gonna have your air conditioner on because
Mm-hmm.
it's hot outside. Then the air conditioner compressor produces heat, and then you see your temperature gauge start to go up, and so
Mm-hmm.
you either have to slow down to 65 for 10 minutes to cool it down, or turn the air conditioner off altogether.
Yep.
And I didn't like either one of those options. We're going to be driving. We're going to make probably a 4,000 mile round trip to West Virginia to the Texas
Yep.
event in September. And we're traveling with other Prowlers. I didn't want to slow them down by having to keep slowing down because I'm overheating. Or I didn't want to drive without the air conditioner. My wife wouldn't be a happy camper after 3
Yeah.
days without air conditioning.
No, I wouldn't either. So, I don't blame her.
So that was the solution to keep. Plus, I'll get better gas mileage.
Well, yeah, that's definitely. But at the same time, though, I think I'd asked you this before, that despite the fact that you had to give up the gears, the supercharger has been worth it to have that, despite
Yeah.
the fact that you had to give that up.
And for me,
I
I would
mean,
do-
was it shifting a lot better with the other gears? I mean, did it?
Yeah,
it-
for around town, for having fun, going out on some, at lower speeds on the twisty roads in the Texas Hill Country, the gears were great. But for cruising up on the interstate, or the top end power is better with the supercharger. So I would have one or the other, and it was much easier to take the gears out and put the stock gear ratios
Yeah.
back in
Okay.
than it was to remove the supercharger.
Okay, and the gears were the ones that Tony Gertz had developed, right?
G-force, right?
G-force that he called them.
Yeah,
right?
and they raised the RPM 27%. So
Okay. Now, just so people don't get confused, Tony's design is the one that the Prowler store took and probably copied, right?
I assume
They have the same. They make a version too.
There were two. There was a company called Prowler Pro who had a set of gears, and then Tony had G-force. And I don't know which of those two that Prowler store copied, but they copied one of those two.
Okay.
They both had the same size, same ratio of gears, but I don't know whether the number of teeth varied or not, but
Okay.
they ended up with the same 27% difference.
Okay.
And Tony has a special drag racing gear set that's 24%, because with the 27% increase in RPM in a quarter mile, you were at the top of third gear, and people wanted to not shift into fourth gear at the end of the quarter mile when they were drag racing.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we've covered just about everything on here. This is again, you compare it to mine. I've got a long way to go to to get caught up to anything in here, but
And then because of
Yeah.
losing the fan belt one time, now
you
when
always keep a spare.
I keep a spare of both the serpentine belt and the air conditioning belt, which is
Okay.
different than stock because of the location of the air conditioner bracket.
Oh, okay, but those are but the sizes are standard enough that you're able to
Yeah.
find them easily
From
enough.
Napa.
From Napa, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. But again, just to clarify, that's some of the standard engine would not use the same sizes
They
you
would
got there.
use the same size serpentine belt, but they would not use the same size air conditioner belt.
Okay,
You need a different size on the air conditioner belt because of where,
Okay.
where the tensioner is located.
okay. Yeah, somebody looking at this, actually, it's interesting you see that bucket in there. That gives people a little better idea how much space you actually do have in the
Not
trunk.
much.
No, but that actually makes it look taller than some people realize. That's actually more inches height than
That's 6 inches.
it's about 6 inches.
That's the height of what a nitrous bottle used to be when I had nitrous in
Yeah,
there.
okay. You had nitrous in this one?
Not in this one, the
Yeah,
other
in
one.
the other one, okay. You thinking of doing that on this one ever?
Never again.
Never again?
No.
Well,
Too much trouble.
When I make it to Randy Hamilton's, he's going to let me. Well, I'm going to ride it, possibly
it's
drive
fun.
it. He's going to. I don't know if he's going to let me.
You'll enjoy it, and for the power, for the money is awesome. But
Yeah.
when they go empty,
hmm
then you got to stop and you got to find some place to fill them up again.
Okay.
And, depending on how heavy your right foot is, you
Yeah.
don't get a lot of use out of them. But for the time when you do,
Mhm.
they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's got the best of both worlds. He's got a
He's
stroke
got- he's got
promoter
his- yeah.
and the nitrous.
He's got them both. So
I'm envious.
I know. And yeah, he's from a mechanical standpoint, he's done a lot.
Here's
to-
one more thing. My
Oh yeah.
flame ball knob.
Yeah.
So that required a special handle that I got from Real Rod. That was his prototype, actually.
Okay.
The one I had on my first one was about 1.5 inches shorter, which I
Mm-hmm.
like better. He had no more of those, but that was his original prototype. And if you see the little slot in the top,
Mm-hmm.
I have it run the wire. I got an LED light that runs into the flame ball, so when you turn your headlights on at night, the flame ball lights up from the
Oh,
inside.
that'd be cool.
It is not. It's in there. It's underneath right now.
Okay, so it could be done, but it doesn't have that.
I had it
now.
in there. I didn't like the looks of the wire, so
Oh.
I'm going to take that off, turn it around so the wire's on the bottom, so you can't see
Okay.
it. I just haven't done that yet.
Okay.
So that's about the last thing. Oh, these things are,
Oh, you got the panels on.
The
there.
panels, right.
Yeah, which I did the same. I've got the same.
and those
on
are from
mine.
OC Prowler also.
Okay. Yeah, I actually bought mine, the Prowlers. I think I did
Okay.
get, but that was before I knew anything
fine.
about them. And I was like, hey, those look good.
I want one more thing.
Yeah.
People always talk about, you need to have the rock guards, or I need to have the rock guards
Oh, you're
on.
right. You're missing that.
That's not a nick. Well, that one is a nick. But that was on there when I bought the car.
Okay.
Other than that, I have no other.
So when you got the car, they were off.
Yeah, they have no
Okay.
other nicks, and I didn't have them on my black.
Okay.
Prowler either.
You know, I just realized something. Because the door handles are done, did you have them taken out?
No, they did.
They
The
did. Okay.
previous
So
guy.
so you don't know how they originally redid the door to fill in the hole.
No.
Because if there's filler in there, you can't tell.
I don't know what they did.
I'm curious how.
The guy who owned it before owned a custom motorcycle shop, so he
Okay.
did the work in a shop himself.
Okay.
At least that was my understanding.
Okay. So all the pinstriping and all that was
No, already done.
already there. So
I probably would not have gone with the fancier pinstriping.
yeah, on the fender.
I like the accent stripe.
Yeah.
I like it more stripped out. Although on the first Prowler I had flames on it, so
Yeah.
I'm contradicting myself.
Okay. Well, this one's pretty awesome. So later today we're gonna go over and check out Buddy Collins'
Yep.
car. So that'll
You
be
want me to start it up and end it with the
Yeah,
with the engine?
let's listen to this.
I gotta start it up anyway.
Wow. Yeah. Now that on the freeway, I can imagine.
Yeah, in the morning under a cold start, you can hear. My neighbors like it when I leave early in the morning.
Yeah. Now there's definitely a wind down coming from your hood underneath the hood there. Is that
Supercharger.
is that the supercharger doing that? Okay.
The wine from the supercharger.
Okay. I was gonna say mine has a little bit of a whine like that too, and I don't have a supercharger, but it's because I think some of the belts have a tendency to.
So you know
Run a
the old
little-
saying that things are bigger in Texas?
Yeah.
Garages are not. This 2-car garage, I had no idea how small it was when we built the house.
Yeah. Oh, I see. That's why you got the tape there on the door.
That, because I use this as my marker. This is how far I come in,
Oh.
so that that gives me my front mark.
Yeah, you do just barely. Yeah, these cars are wide. People don't realize there's definitely a few more inches width in these cars.
This is the only bad thing about our house is that the garage is only 18 foot wide.
Okay.
2-car garages in Kentucky where we're from were 22 by 24. I just thought it was, I didn't even think about it when we built the house. So, anyway.
Okay. Well, it sounds wonderful. We're going to head over to Buddy's, and that'll be my next episode. All right, say goodbye. Bye, everybody.